Okay, never seen that one.
Yeah. And then there's a horror movie called Ready or Not that I liked.
Oh, okay.
But if I had to pick, if, like the actual 2019 movies, I think my favorites out of that, eh,
It's like being a or like an art curator
go with
trying to fix, huh?
I'm just gonna go with Alita.
Okay. Yeah, and I know it'd be pretty tough for you because you're like an art curator who's trying to find their favorite piece. Like you're seeing so much of it, you know. Like I mean, I have a very limited view, so I could easily pick mine.
What is yours?
Oh, for sure. Midsommar, man. And
I'm
if you get to check out on YouTube the director's cut, what was it? Ari Aster, who was the director?
yeah, Ari Aster,
It
the
was
hereditary guy.
it was a 4 hour and 50 minute movie. He
It's
cut
on
out,
YouTube.
huh?
It's on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, look, no, not the movie. He did an interview. I had to watch it. He said I cut out every piece of it. It was kind of like if I cut out any pieces, I'm starting to cut fingers off, you know. And it was still only down to 2 hours and 45 minutes, and still he had to bring it to somebody to cut it down to like 2 hours and 30 or 2 hours and 20 minutes. Man, but if you watch the from the 2 hours and 45 minutes, they add like the extra cut scenes, scenes that they cut out. Man, it made so much more to the story, man. Just on the fact of how Christian stole Joshua's thesis for his doctorate, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Man, the actual argument they got inside of would have made that movie so much better.
Man, I mean, I heard about the extended cut. I thought there was a director's cut that was released in theaters. It wasn't 4 hours, but it was like 45 minutes longer, and it actually got a release only in theaters though.
I'm gonna be pissed if I missed that because it didn't come out a little bullshit ass city.
I know they came out with the Blu-ray that's just the standard theatrical edition. You know what, man? I really, really did like that movie because I would say after the last year, that's the movie that I want to rewatch the most. I don't know if it's my favorite yet because I've only seen it like a time and a half. But I think if I watch that 2 or 3 more times and like go over the years, that'll probably be my standout. I'm just not there yet.
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to push you
yeah, but
towards it, man. That's just a
it's
masterpiece.
my top three, bro, for sure.
Yeah,
I love that movie.
I had 4 people watching, man, and every single time they was fucked up after the first one. So I said, tell them if you watch it for a second time, you'll be able to understand it better. And they were like, I don't know if I can watch it the second time, but I felt the same way in the theaters. I was like, I'll never watch this shit again. This was the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But I said, there's got to be some type of deeper movie. The second time was better. The third time was even better. Every time I watch it, it gets better, man.
Just go watch it Midsommar every week.
Man, just noticing when you know the bed scene, not the second time was the suicide. Well, I mean the murder, but the first time when they were just Danny was calling, and they moved over they panned over from the left side from the father to the right side when they were still alive sleeping.
Yeah.
If you notice, Danny picture is there and it's full of flowers around it, just how she looked at the end of Midsommar with the flower wreath. It's
Wow.
crazy, man. This a little gem. It's like listening to a Lupe Fiasco song. Like you don't get it the first time. You can't.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta keep listening and listening and listening, and there's layers to it, man. That's the kind of stuff I love, bro.
Man.
That's like I try to represent. I try to be that like that sort of person.
Right. Man,
Like yeah.
that's what he did with this movie. If you look at it, the painting, I believe it's in Danny's house. Well, no, that's the one with the first painting that they show when they get to there. This gives a spoiler of the whole movie of him dying at the end.
What?
Yes, they show him being burnt up inside the back. It's 3 pieces
Oh
of it.
yeah, yeah. I do remember seeing this because I didn't know if I was gonna have to talk about it at some point. So I did watch a YouTube video like Easter eggs in it, and I remember.
Man, the whole movie was right there in your face.
Uh,
Crazy. Man. So So
You
yeah.
got me want. You got me wanting to watch Miss Smart again now.
Man, just one little thing will get you trapped, man. Especially like if you said you went over the little Easter egg things and just picking it out when you're watching it, you know? Man.
If you like that kind of movie, bro, actually not. I was gonna say Under the Silver Lake is okay, but it's not on Miss Mars level. There's nothing. There's no importance to it. Like Under
Okay.
the Silver Lake is really good if you like that sort of like hidden messages type movie. But there's only like 3 or 4 parts that are really important and like actual like have merit to them and a little bit of weight to them. The rest of it's kind of weird. It's just off ball. But
Okay.
Miss Mars is like serious all the way through. But Under the Silver Lake it's good. It's just it feels like a millennial version of something like Midsommar or like The Matrix or something with a bunch of codes and hidden messages in it.
Okay.
Just not really well executed.
Right. Did you get a chance to watch Hereditary? Because I said it was like a sister movie to Midsommar. I never watched it.
Oh yeah, I've seen Hereditary. It's different. It's a little bit more on the supernatural side than Midsommar is.
Okay.
So it deals with spirits, with like religious, supernatural elements. Yeah,
Right.
I would classify Hereditary as a spiritual horror movie, and then Midsommar is like a cultural horror movie.
Right. They said described it as a horror movie in the daytime. I mean, even though it's
Yeah, exactly.
but he said the cool thing about it was the origin of that. This movie could have never happened like this because he said some Swedish group came up and asked him to fund the movie, and exactly during this time he was going through a breakup. So he wanted to put his real life inside of a movie. That is crazy. Like if the bitch would have broke his heart at that moment, like she would have waited like 6 more months, you know, this shit would never happen.
Oh yeah. Well, think about it though. Like that movie can exist without the relationship.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
I get it. It's really good to add relationship because it gives it like a modern sort of relatability to it. Like this is a look at how ugly breakups can get, and how ugly like manipulative
Boyfriends,
relationships can
yeah.
get. Yeah, but if you take that all away, like you can see the guts of Midsommar is still a really good movie. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about in a weird way. The fact that like Ari Aster was including his real life sort of scenario in his script and in his writing. I've been thinking about that a lot recently because, well, coming from the music aspect, it's really easy to do, right? Like,
Okay, hold on. Let me pause you on that one. Let me pause you right there. All right. So coming from what you just said, only thing this deals directly with you. Jay-Z said he had to write the was it Decoded? The book.
yeah.
He said because as an artist he was too afraid to put his life inside of his he said he put inside of his music. But
Well, that's so weird for Jay to say that because he doesn't even write. So how does he have control over what he's going to say?
I mean, he said that it goes too deep inside of his soul to put that inside of a book. He said so he speaks indirectly through his music of his struggles, but not of his actual life. Even though I mean he included when he shot his brother or whatever like that, but
Yeah.
it's just the fact that you said it's easy to do. I mean, everyone's different, you know what I'm saying? But he said he just didn't want to go that deep into his life inside of a.
Yeah. I guess that depends. Yeah, that
It depends
really
on the person.
depends on how much you want to reveal. Yeah, because like take a look at my life in the last 10 years. I haven't put out any new music in the last 8 to 9 years. So it's not like I don't have a lot to say. It's like I don't really know how to talk about it on music, like because in a weird way, the last 10 years of my life have been the best years of my life.
Okay.
So
But is the passion there?
yeah, so what's interesting is I use music and writing specifically, writing music at least, as a sort of outlet for getting a lot of shit off my chest as far as the drama was concerned. Like Ari Aster was using his
was like blues
I got
music.
half an album. Yeah, I got half an album dedicated to like my first long-term breakup. But I coded some other messages from my personality within the song. It's not just about a breakup. If you want it to be just about a breakup, it can be. But if you want it to be about suffering, it can be. If you want it to be about growing from your transgressions and learning from your mistakes, it can be. There's like layers upon layers. But what I in the last 10 years, I've just been living life and then sort of amassing these memories in my head because it's not that I don't think music is the right outlet for the happy stuff, like for the everything happy-go-lucky stuff. It's just I don't think that my type of music is the outlet for the happy stuff. So basically, I've just started talking a lot more because
Okay.
me as an individual, as a conversation guy, that's where I feel comfortable with talking about the happy stuff and the good stuff and communicating it because the happy stuff is you want to get it right. You don't want the happy stuff to be misinterpreted because then it gets misapplied. So if you actually have constructive ideas for like a positive trajectory, you want to be as clear and straightforward as possible with that stuff. But the drama's got layers to it, right? Because everybody's got their own personal drama story. So they're
Right.
gonna hear someone else's stories and they're gonna tap into it. And anyways, I always tell myself like, am I in writer's block? No, clearly I'm not in a writer's block because I have a desktop with like 300 songs written and they're just chilling there. So I ask myself like, why am I not making music out of these and I'm just writing it down? Part of me says like, you don't have the money to record 300 songs. It would cost you 20 grand to spend that much time in the studio. But the other part of me says maybe the written form of them is just enough, and that's okay for right now. And until you trim it down to like 10 or 15 songs that you really want to talk about, just leave it at that. It's weird, man. But where I was going with all this is I started writing like intros to short stories and intros to movie ideas and stuff like that. And what I was using was my real life sort of encounters with everyday people, and I was dramatizing them a little bit. Have you seen the movie Falling Down?
No.
Michael Douglas, where he
Oh, you
goes
told me you referenced this before. Where you just had like a fucked up day or something. Would you go like on a rampage or something?
It gets fucked up day, gets worse and worse, and this guy's just trying to get home, and society's like getting in his way nonstop. You would love that to be. You gotta check out Falling Down, bro. Falling
Uh,
Down is like it's like a waiting to exhale for people that are tired of people like playing dumb and shit. It's crazy. It's a big relief to see something like that on the big screen. But anyways, I had a couple of like little moments after watching Falling Down where I sat and I studied the moments. Like I had an encounter at a grocery store with a lady who was working at the store and she couldn't understand basic mathematics that I was trying to break down to her, and the machine was getting the price of some meatloaf wrongly priced. No big deal, right?
right.
It turned out that it was going to cost me like $3 or $4 more if I just sat there and didn't explain the problem. So obviously, I wasn't just going to give in to the fact that there was an error within the computer, and the lady was doing her job. So I just quietly, calmly explained it to her what was going on. Well, anyways, after telling that story to like 4 or 5 friends, I fleshed it out in more and more detail. All of it really happened.
Right.
I fleshed it out in more thorough detail to them. And then I sat at my desk one day and I'm like, that's just like a scene out of Falling Down. I could have, if I was in his mind state, I could have flipped out right there and gone it turned into a pretty decent like 3-page little story. But I've been doing that with other stuff, and so I wanted to talk to you about like the very pragmatic things that we do. Like society is determined, the education system and all that is almost determined to spit out experts in one very narrow field. Like we talked about that plenty of times, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so think of all the stuff that those experts miss out on, and that's honestly what I feel like some of us are learning to do with the internet and with the rejection of that assembly line thing. We're learning a lot about a variety of things. We're becoming sort of Renaissance people if we want to be, if we're good at it, if we're actually intelligent.
This will you'll play out into we have a general intelligence versus a narrow intelligence. I mean, which plays the part into that I was telling you about AI. Right now, AI has a narrow intelligence, like a Alexa or whatever can speak to you one on one, like a chess engine. This dude could beat the greatest chess player inside the world ever to ever exist, but he won't be able to tell you who's the first president. You know, it's just his narrow intelligence.
Exactly, and that's why that's because the people programming these things have the same narrow intelligence.
Right. Exactly.
They can only do what they know to do. That's it. But when you take a look at the larger scale of how the world evolves and how things change, I don't think that it's up to narrow realms of intelligence to do that. So what I was thinking is like I can't do this rationally because it would take a while for anybody to think about it. But if I branched out mentally like my tree of knowledge and I said, here are all the things that you know a lot about, how far up do they go? Then take it all the way back down to like the roots of what that means. So if I know, let me explain. If I know a lot about the Bible, for example, like the guy that you go see, and he's an expert on the Bible, right?
Right.
What does that mean? He is an expert of at the root, because the Bible is the end result of his expertise. So what does that mean? He's really good at doing.
I will give him research.
In my estimation, it would be like reading a text and digesting all of the possible, like all the possible interpretations of it, and researching like something on text that he's interested in. That's his like core talent.
But it still takes a talent to be able to. I call it parachuting. When you parachute, you jump out. Huh?
That makes sense. I like that.
Because the parachute goes wide as it can, it saves you, and then you gather all the air to get you to the ground, and then you put it back inside of a backpack and you neatly pack it up into it. Because you can give an AI the whole internet and give it the answers, you know, and it will be like
You're not gonna learn anything.
yeah, because if you ask it a question, let's say like if who was the first president? Well, there's a shitload of fucking presidents, you know. It won't if you ask it a question like what is the least race, you know, like the whatever like that, and it read from a whole bunch of hatred groups from the Ku Klux Klans. It would be like the niggers, you know. But then you ask from an American point of view, it'd be like the Mexicans. Like, there's no direct answer. To be able to gather that much about the information and then narrow down to the best one it takes talent in itself.
Yeah.
Versus just memorizing.
Exactly. It's the core things that take talent. So if you're trying to, let me jump a little bit to what I'm getting at. If you're trying to improve the world around you, I do not think it's by improving people on narrow lines of expertise. I don't think that like an expert on the Kardashev scale, for example. Are you familiar with the Kardashev scale?
Yeah, which you'll never receive. We'll never
Alright,
get.
so like Michio Kaku, for example, he's looked at as a
And the futurists, yeah.
Okay.
I love him, man.
Now, yeah, yeah, he's alright.
Uh, I mean, there's one thing I disagree with them with, but there's another 99% that I agree with them with. I'm not about to disclaimer every single thing he said because that one thing that I disagree with them with. But whatever. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I feel you. I feel you. So if he's talking to, there's a reason why you relate to him, right?
Yeah, I love
Because
science.
because the knowledge that he has sort of it matches your knowledge to a certain degree.
Right.
But here's the problem: if some guy who just likes outer space turns on a Michio Kaku fucking seminar, and he's just I like outer space, so I'm gonna jump with an expert on outer space.
Right.
Like you gotta have your middlemen all the way. Like you gotta have your hierarchy of education, and that's the problem with the internet, and that's what we're seeing a result of over the last 10 years. Is people can jump, they can leapfrog all of the knowledge that they need to accrue in order to be like voices of reason and understanding. I say this all the time, like how can we build machines in AI that are thinking that are gonna eventually think for themselves if human beings can't even do that?
Right.
Like it doesn't make much sense. You have to master what you want to understand in order to understand it further. That's just like standard logic. So if I want to understand Michio Kaku on a deeper level, what I need to do is start with the basics. Like what is he really good at doing from the top down? He's really good at communicating points. That's the first thing. So if I'm really good at communicating points, then already me and Michio Kaku have something to build off of. Now what's the next level up? He's really good at communicating points on stuff that he spends a lot of time with. I think I'm kind of there. I feel like I'm there sometimes when I talk about spirituality or ancient philosophy or baseball or the NFL stats. Like I'm willing to say that I'm an expert on maybe a handful of things, but I don't know what I could be an expert of that comes naturally to me. So what I'm trying to do with all of this is like design, and this goes back to the other thing that I told you in the direct message. Like I want to come up with my own hypotheses based off of our conversations and like our own effects and shit like that because it's a lot easier than we think. But all we have to do is look at what we do on a routine basis and what we come up with as deductions, and that's the high end result. That's the top end result. So we have to, as you put it, or maybe this pertains differently, but we have to parachute down to the bottom and figure out what's the core logic behind what we got to very quick, because we connect the dots very quickly.
Right.
We skip all the stuff that people are spending their time day in, day out with trying to figure out. That's a good thing. But what we need to do is, like Lupe says, dumb it down. I think dumb it down means something completely different now that I've had these thoughts. I think dumb it down means scale it down. So
Right.
it's just like
Well, check this out. There's this YouTube. They have their own whatever you subscribe to. They have their own little channel, whatever like that. It's called 5 Levels of Difficulty. I don't know if you ever came across this. So let's say if you're an expert, let's say Michael Jordan is chilling there, right? I really don't want to use Michael Jordan because what it does is it takes a first grader. It explains something. It'll be like, well, basketball, you have an orange basketball, and every time you score, it's 2 points. And they're like, whoa. And then the next level, they explain to like a high school student that's kind of learning about just the introductory of the true of it, whatever like that. And they're like, this is pass, this is dribble, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the third level is to a college graduate. Now, this is on astrophysicists, quantum physics, whatever like that. But I'm just using basketball as a thing, whatever like that. And they're giving you like the skills or whatever like that. And then the fourth level is somebody who actually have a job inside that field. And then the fifth level is an expert talking to another expert.
I see.
So they're able to go from a dumbed down first grader holding a conversation all the way up to a person that's equivalent to them in expertise.
Man, that's pretty dope.
That is though. I don't even know who came up with this, but it's fucking genius. Because the thing about it is, let's say if you're like on the high school level, if you watch this video, you're gonna wait. I mean, you're gonna watch the first grade, you're gonna watch high school, but it also gives you a college level, a workers level, and an expertise level. So it catches you up. You got to be one of these. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The hard part is, like, is there an assessment based on that? Like, can you? What do they say? Do they say like, if you understand this video, you're at this level?
Well, it's all in one video. It's a sit down. It's a sit down for 2 minutes with the first grader. Then they get up and leave, and then the high school student come. They shake their hands, and then they hold a conversation. It's all one full video. They ask the person. What are you learning right now? What do you know about it? And then they expand on that. Now this is in black and white. I mean, there's some high school students who probably have a job or.
Exactly.
No. This is not black and white. This is like a gray area, but what you should know at this stage of your life.
I know, but some of the high school students might be on the expert level without knowing it, and they're getting held back. Is what I'm saying. Like,
Well, each video, their minds are blown. Their eyes get all big, and some of them have no clue. They're just like It's kind of like if you talking about painting, and they're like, well, we just learned about Leonardo da Vinci, and then they're like, okay, they'll go into the Renaissance area. They'll try to stick around the area that they know of. That one kid.
I see.
Yeah. It's no perfect system to this. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. What if there was is there a Kardashev scale for Earth level, like for humanity?
You.
I know there's IQ of course, but I don't like IQ anymore.
Uh.
I don't think IQ gets the job done.
IQ can be biased as well, man.
Yeah. Like maybe we just borrow from the Kardashev scale like methodology, and it's like type 1 human. type 3.
But the sad part about this is you'll be like a type 2 human would be like a college graduate, and some of those fuckers are dumb as fuck and they're really a type 1, you know?
I know. People love ranking shit, bro. Like, people love ranking shit in the 21st century. It's one of their favorite things to do. Everybody got a top 5 rapper list. Everybody got top 5 movies of the year. Everybody got a top 5 TV shows to watch. Everybody got top 5 restaurants. They're addicted to it.
Right.
Why not rank human personalities?
Man, that would be hard, man.
I know it'll be hard, but do you think we can get the funding to do it?
Because I can give you this situation right here. My intelligence is pretty much up there, like I said, like a top 2, type 3, and type 4. But my emotional intelligence, that is still on the Earth level. I ain't even using all the solar energy on Earth to be compared to the Kardashev scale. Oh man, I go the fuck off on the simplest shit in my old lady, bro.
But that's the fun part. Is once you see where you're at, you actually get a chance to improve on shit.
Man, I gotta improve my emotional intelligence. I ain't even using solar energy yet.
I don't believe in emotional intelligence. I think that's just like, it's a fancy word for just like just controlling your emotions.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there's something deeply engraved inside people's brain that no matter how much you try to control it, it's something that you're fighting every single time. So, I mean, let's say like somebody with autism, you can't say they're less emotionally intelligent. I mean, they're intelligent. It's just that it's something inside their brain.
Yeah.
You can't change that.
I don't know if I believe it. I don't believe in that term, and that's like another reason why self-esteem even doesn't make much sense to me, because self-esteem is so contingent on a lot of prerequisites. Like someone with autism, I don't think they have a gauge for. I don't think they care about what self-esteem means. They're on a scale. Well, I mean, some of them might care, but if they do care, it's because of the external process. I think it's something
Right.
that has been built up because of the environment, and I don't like those sorts of
True. It's like a let's say like there's a yellow diamond that's like 89 carats in the middle of fucking Ethiopia, and a fucking gazelle comes, take a piss on it, and keep running. You're like, you fucking idiot. That's an 89 carat stone. He doesn't give a fuck about like an autism person. What the fuck is this?
He doesn't care. That's how I feel about so much shit, bro. In the world, I'm like, yeah, I don't know what $1 billion like feels like, but everybody's telling me I should, but I really just don't give a fuck. What can I do with $1 billion that I can't do with $1 in my pocket? I'm willing to show that I can match the person with $1 billion on every level.
Like I say, if the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, still cheat, nigga, money doesn't make you more intelligent.
Like the results of what you can do with more money are strictly material.
And you're still a human at the base of it who still needs to
Exactly.
smash other chicks.
And if you're not obsessed with the material, then all that shit, like you have a head start on making yourself better where it matters, where it counts. So that's why like the balance is pretty important. And that's also why I think some people who I watched this really good documentary called Generation Wealth on Amazon Prime. Like some people who are multi-millionaires or multi-billionaires, and they're so fixated on their money that it takes them such a long time to snap out of that. Like you just said, it's ingrained in them mentally that money is going to drive their happiness, so much so that they always, just like people bettering themselves on an internal level, there's always that next level that they want to reach. Like if you got $1 million, somebody with two. If you got two, somebody with three, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But the interesting part with the philosophical part, I was telling you this just today. Like the higher up you go internally, the thinner the crowd is. That works the same way with money, right? So
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. We have gotten better at having the same conversation when you think about it.
But it always improves on it.
Yeah, a year ago, we were talking about glass. We were talking about Ellie Staple. We were talking about the 1%. We were talking about how she's there to control the 1% of people with ability, with natural ability.
Right.
Because there needs to be balance all the time. And then we got to talking about the 1% of wealth. And then I said something like, if there's a 1% of wealth and a 1% of experts on specific topics, you should be allowed to claim that there's a 1% of intelligence on the planet, like overall intelligence. And then I fast forward to the conversation today. I didn't have any like intent on tying this conversation with that conversation at all.
Right.
Like, I had new points to discuss, but because of the nature of maybe what we do and the types of conversations that we have, here we are tying it all back to an older conversation, and we're improving it. We're understanding it to the point where we're talking about maybe developing a scale for it. That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. The progress. This went from a type 1 conversation to like a type 2 or a type 3 conversation over the last 6 to 8 months.
Right. But it's just a natural progression, though. It's nothing. It's nothing that we said that, hey, next time we're going to improve on this. It just naturally progresses. Life happens, and then you get different point of views.
Yes.
Speaking back on, I thought there was a cool quote that Jay-Z said when we were talking about money, whatever like that. He says when you get money, that just changes the top layer, but really deeply who are you inside is still going to be there. It's kind of like if I'm a geek of like Pokemon, or let's say I collect baseball cards. If I become rich, I'm gonna try to get a Rolls Royce and fucking eat Grey Poupon and do all this fancy shit, but it's not really me. And at the end of the day, probably by the end of the 6 months, I'm just buy the fucking most expensive baseball cards and Pokemon cards I can get. You know what I'm saying? You still who you are. It's kind of like when that dude Jared, whatever, like that. I hate that he shared my fucking name. He was a fucking pedophile underneath. When he became Subway, became a millionaire, huh? That never changed who he really was. All he was able to do was have more money to access younger bitches.
Absolutely, and that's how evil sort of perpetuates throughout history. Is because it doesn't go away. Like the money aspect doesn't go away.
It only makes it easier to be more evil and more justifiable. Because if a rich guy does something evil, you be like, well, he rich as fuck. So he's like when R. Kelly was fucking these little bitches. Like people was actually justifying him, but he made great music. Let that been fucking Curtis down the street at the liquor store. They'd have fucking killed his ass.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. Imagine like you said, imagine a poor man doing the same thing. He would have been left and right, like just chastised, crucified.
Right.
That's crazy.
But since he has money, well, this may be a reason why he makes great music because he does this. So a few girls are sacrificed in order for us to get this. Fuck that. It's still wrong. Like, wrong is wrong.
Well,
Oh, and speaking back on the topic from earlier, man, the beauty of it, like we were talking about Ari Aster, and we're talking about you as well. The beauty of the outlet of the conscious mind, man. Like let's say like the blues. When you're sad, one person may make music. One person like Pablo Picasso went through his blue period. When he was down, he painted everything in blue. You're verbal right now. Like you said, music isn't what you're doing right now, but just your verbal is helping you with your inside, whatever like that. And some people play instruments or do writing. They had one writer. He said that people are so shocked that he could write almost a book every 2 to 3 weeks, whatever like that. He said that if I did not write these, I felt physically sick. So it wasn't about him just shooting out a whole bunch of stuff. He physically needed to get this out of his body.
it was part of his existence.
Yes. But it's amazing that the world gives us so much ways to give outlet to pain that's inside, you know?
Yeah, but now here's the ugly side of that. Everyone's outlet seems to be, for the most part, 95% of people, their outlet seems to be controlled through consumerism.
True.
Like I feel like the outlet to get so much off is buying food, which is at the end of the day consumerism, and then consuming the food, that's consumerism. Buying material, that's consumerism. You go to work to support your consumerism in many ways. Think about this. Think about if you could do a job. Would you think of this as a future economy? A job that says, we'll pay your rent, your car note, and something else. You only got to work, like we'll pay your rent, your utilities, and your car note, and you only got to work 20 hours, and you're free to do the rest of the time. Nobody likes universal basic income, but what if the job market changes to where it matches? Let me backtrack a little bit. I'm coming into my apartment complex here.
Well, universal income is almost a necessity once AI takes over because people are going to need money. And if the jobs are taken,
Money, but let's look at it differently. Just a little bit. The economy right now. I'm 36 years old, and I've had 10 jobs in my life. That's a high number for a lot of people, but to me, it seems normal. And to a lot of people in my age bracket, it seems normal. Those jobs are spread out through a variety of markets. I'm good at a lot of just like as a human being, we can talk about all these different topics. I'm good at doing a bunch of different jobs. I don't think I'm as good at doing all those jobs as I am about talking about all the different knowledge that I know. But it's in that same line. It's in that same vein. Like I'm a good customer service employee because I'm a good communicator and I'm good at speaking to people. So I'm a good customer service employee. I'm a decent sales and advertising employee because I've had to promote my own music in life. I've had to promote myself in life. I've had to be the instigator top of that hierarchy, but at the bottom, I'm sorry, the top would be I'm a good salesman, but the bottom of that hierarchy would be I'm good at instigating interest. So all of these little things that we're good at doing, they're all jobs at the end of the day. They can all be classified as jobs. But here I am at a job that is concentrated based on the infrastructure of the economy. It's concentrating on me doing one of those things very well. Like we started this conversation, it just cares about me doing one of them very well.
Right, narrow intelligence.
Exactly, but look at the trend. People are getting paid to drive their car because they're really confident in their ability to drive their car. Like it doesn't take much skill or talent to realize that, hey, I've been driving for 20 years. I'm a taxi driver.
Right.
I'm a shuttle driver. So why don't I just turn my car into the taxi and boom, you got Uber. Hey, I've been living in an apartment for 10 years or a house for 10 years. I'm really good at living in my house. Why don't I just turn one of my rooms into a living space?
You got an Airbnb.
Exactly. So all of these like different types of economies, they gotta get figured out. But I think they will get figured out by the economists and by the entrepreneurs who can do it. And what you're gonna end up having is an economy where people are basically freelancers of all the things that they're good at over time. Because they're gonna be rejecting, a lot of them are at least, they're going to be rejecting the system that says, be good at one thing.
Right.
People always want more. People always want more. So if the top of the want more chain is consumerism, at the bottom of that want more chain is they're going to want to be doing more. Maybe.
Right.
The
Well,
way that you have to entice them to do more is that you say, you can work 10 hours doing this, Ubering, and we're going to give you $500. You can work 10 hours doing this, and we're going to give you $1,000, whatever that may be.
right.
And then you can work 10 hours doing this, and we're going to get you, we're going to pay for your rent. So you don't necessarily attach it to money, but if the economy starts shifting, like would you do a job for 10 hours or 10 to 20 hours if it said, we're going to take care of your rent and your car note. We're not going to give you a set amount of money. We're just going to pay your rent and your car note.
What?
And the rest of the time, you can do other stuff to make any amount of money that you want to make outside of your rent and your car note.
I'll get you
We're
saying.
going to put a roof over your head. Yeah, we're going to put a roof over your head, and we're going to give you a vehicle, or we're going to pay for we're going to give you $100 per diem for groceries per week, based on the work that you give us. So it's back to like the ancient days of bartering.
Bordering, yeah.
Yes, because what that fixes in a weird way, what it allows the option of is just give people $1,000, right? But my boss told me this the other day. We had a long conversation about money, and he said, stop using the word money and just replace the word money with value, with the word value. And I've been doing that in my mind over and over and say, I don't need all this money. I don't want money, but I do want value. So value for me in the economical sense would be, if I always contemplate this, I'm like, wouldn't it be nice if I could just skip like a month or two of rent?
Right.
Think of the money that I would save. Think of the value that I would save. So all I really need is a way to have a month or two of rent skipped.
Right.
If there was somebody out there that was willing to take on freelance work and say, we'll pay your rent for a month. Radio stations do this shit, bro. They say, we're going to pay your bills.
Right.
But we need to maybe think of a system. This is a very rudimentary logic that I could think is you would have 4 or 5 different jobs. So that would require someone who's willing to have 4 different jobs, 10 hours a week.
Right.
You just do it a day a week. I don't know.
Or
I'm on a train of thought with it, but
yeah. It's a good way to start it out.
Yeah.
What's Oh, that was my one of my dreams. I talked to my old lady. She's a teacher, right? So when you're talking about what is someone's base, I guess enjoyment in life, you know, like what is our root from? So like you said, like if you have a car, you know, you're a good driver. If you have a apartment or a house, then you're a good landowner or a house owner, whatever like that. Her and I had this conversation about if I was to accumulate enough money through the stock markets, instead of stopping at my one goal that I have, is to increase it. But I just need to know the interest. I believe that there's a higher interest in this than I think inside of my head. Like right now, I think that it wouldn't make it because I don't think people be interested because I'm interested in it. But I was thinking of starting like a after school tutoring, but in general intelligence. Nothing that they teach inside the schools, like art, philosophy, like history on a fun level, not like dates. You know what I'm saying? Or like just a general intelligence after school tutoring.
I think this might be one of the like big reasons why we met each other, because on my I wish I had it right now. On my work computer at work, I have a business proposal from about a year and a half ago for a renovation of all the public recs, like the rec centers in urban cities, in cities with urban areas where there are a lot of schools in them. Not like Dallas, because Dallas doesn't actually have any, well, maybe Dallas. Wherever there were kids that the education was struggling, because I drive by the rec centers that I used to play basketball in and ping pong and stuff like that, and they're just not around anymore. I don't see them very much anymore. I know there's a handful, but they're not all over the place. So I've got a like 2-page proposal with all the reasoning behind it that I think I don't want you to say anymore. Like I just want you to see it and see how many of our ideas mesh. And then we could talk about it from there.
Cool. So you think there'll be a big interest in it?
I've never met anyone. Yeah, I've never met anyone with that same idea. Like,
it's freaking genius. The thing about that is that interest that, because I would take people that's sort of an expert inside that field or whatever like that I know of, or just me, or we all learn together, whatever like that. The thing about learning, making it fun after school, makes the learning at school fun, because you will hear these things sprinkled inside your school thing, but it's no longer what is the date that he died on, what was his mother, you know, like all this other bullshit that's fucking robotic.
Yep.
It's general intelligence on a fun level.
I think the interest for that is like limitless.
Yes, because if I was a kid, dude, I'd be in that bitch every day. I'd probably skip school to go to that motherfucker. Yeah, man.
That's one of the dangers. Johnny hasn't showed up for a couple of weeks.
No.
He's been learning about how to be a good human being.
I'll tell you the danger in it. The one reason why they'll probably try to cut us off is that if you would try to tell these kids,
the public school system? It'd be a threat to the public.
Yes, because the things that you're teaching them that's not supposed to be, like say if you teach them the horrible parts of slavery and they're teaching you they came over here to get jobs. That student fussing back with his teacher will get shut down the next week. So
I said it on Twitter today. I said you want to make enemies, start trying to change stuff.
Right. But I mean, I love the idea because that dude, I believe his name Kalanick. He's the starter of Uber. This dude probably talking to one of his homeboys on the thing, and he was like, let's let people drive their own cars. And his homeboy's like, well, what about the taxi system? They'll kill us. No, man, it's got to work. You know, it starts off with a conversation. Every business starts off with just a conversation, man.
Hey, My bad, man. My wife's calling. I'm outside. Hey, I'm gonna send you via Twitter. I'm gonna send you that outline. Okay?
All right, cool.
All right, bro.
Later.